Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna share today in this video. We're gonna be talking about Sasuke Uchiha. We're gonna be reviewing his full kit, including his old and new one. So, I was actually waiting until they released the second banner of his with his old kit, the guaranteed kit, and for some reason they have not done that yet. It's like 6 days now into the new events, and they have not done it yet. I have no idea why. And to be honest, I don't really care because I don't think anyone would ever pull for his old kit anyway. So we're going to be reviewing his old kit anyway right now, and then we're going to go over his new kits. So we're starting off with the Fireball Jutsu, which is basically one of the worst jutsus in the game so far. I can't wait until Itachi gets a new kit as well, so we can replace it in his kit. So it's a single target attack. It's mainly used just to knock back the enemy. The damage is not that great anyway, and yeah, I don't see any other like possibility of that jutsu used in the game. So it's just for knockback effect. It doesn't really do that much damage, and you should not use it in your new cat as well. So there you go. Next up, we have the Sharingan, which is one of the best cards in his old kit. It was very useful back in the days when the paper bombs and the electrical needles were like a big thing in the attack mission, and they were so deadly. So the Sharingan, what it did is it gave you the evasion rate, which basically made you invincible to paper bombs and electrical needles, so you didn't have a problem going against these. And now it's pretty useless because nobody uses that anymore since the attack mission was nerfed. Paper bombs don't do that much damage anymore. The same thing for needles. So yeah, Sharingan is not used anymore. I was actually hoping that they would like give you a better version of the Sharingan, his new kits, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's okay. So yeah, the third jutsu we have here for his old kit, which was the very rare card. It's the Chidori Stream. It was a godly attack back then in the days when the game started because it had the huge range which went through walls, and it did a lot of damage. It did the paralyzed effect. It was just amazing. So to balance it out, it was giving a 13 seconds cooldown, which is currently very terrible because I mean if you think about his new cat, for example, the Flicker or the Black Chidori, they have the 6 seconds cooldown. So basically, if you have all of them ready and you use your Chidori Stream first, then you use these cards or these attacks, and then they will cool down before the Chidori Stream, so you can use them again, and then they will cool down again before the Chidori Stream actually gets the cooldown at the end. So basically, you can use the other attacks 3 times before you use the Chidori Stream. So it's not really that great anymore. I mean, it's still useful. The fact that it still goes through walls and it has the paralyzed effect with even though it's a short time effect, it's still really good. So if I have to use one of the old cards or the old jutsus from the old kit into the new kit, it will be the Chidori Stream for sure. Alright, so we were gonna be talking about the old ultimate real quick here. So Chidori is not really anything special. It's a single target attack. It was not used for a long time because of that. It's a single target. It misses a lot. It has that animation at the beginning, which makes it sometimes miss. So what happens here is that he does 3 hits. This is an original ultimate, like when the game started, and it has 3 hits. It's very interesting. So yeah, if in case Lung was featured in this SAM or any SAM, you can basically use it as the Lung nature attack. Even though like Sarada would be a better attacker with her shurikens being all Lung and everything, but if you don't have Sarada's shurikens, you can still use this ultimate of Sasuke. If you have it at higher level, that would be even better. So there you go. Chidori does 3 hits. Then we have the Black Chidori, which is my favorite jutsu from the new cat. It has an iframe, which makes it very special. So you can use it against ultimates, you can escape ultimates, any kind of ultimates in the game, except for probably the multi-hits kind of ultimates like the Rasen Shuriken. In case, I mean, you can actually escape the Rasen Shuriken if you jump up in the air and the Rasen Shuriken goes through you and it doesn't really do any damage. But in case there was a wall behind you and the Rasen Shuriken was like, the effect of the Rasen Shuriken was right behind you, you would still die after you finish doing the Black Chidori. So the Black Chidori has only 6 seconds cooldown. CB cost at level 8 is 80 CB cost. Probably the lowest CB cost in his new cats. And yeah, the damage is the highest. The bar is 6,920. And again, it has an iframe. Who doesn't like iframe jutsus? They're like the best. So yeah, and the animation is beautiful as well. I love the animation. I actually was hoping that it was the ultimate for this cat, but yeah, Bandai had other plans and they just made it 4-star jutsu. So there you go, Black Chidori, one of the best cards that Sasuke will ever have probably. So there we go. Next up we have the Flicker, Lightning Flicker. I think this is the jutsu that he, or not the jutsu, this is the shuriken that he used against Itachi in his fight against Itachi. So yeah, it's a single target basically. If there's multiple enemies in the same point, around the same point, it would kill them all. But at the end of the day, it's just a single target, okay? Like every single target has this explosion, like a small explosion in one point, and anything around that point kills, is killed. But yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's a single target. It has 6 seconds cooldown, just like the Black Chidori. It has less power than the Black Chidori. I don't know why, since it's a single target, should have like more damage. But it has also the paralyzed effect, which I feel has a better rate than the one with the Chidori stream. So the Chidori stream is a multi-target attack. The Flicker is a single target attack. So it makes sense that the paralyzed effect would be higher. The effect small here, by the way, is only for time. So the time is 3 seconds for both attacks. So if in case you paralyze an enemy with the Flicker, it's going to be the same amount of time with the Chidori stream. So it's 3 seconds because that's the small effect. But the actual effect of the paralyzes, like the rate of the paralyzed effect, is not mentioned here. It's never mentioned in the game. I have no idea why, but I feel that it has a bigger rate than the Chidori stream. So since it's a single target, that makes sense, right? So there you go. This is the Lightning Flicker. It's really good at, like, if you have both of them in your kits, it just gives you an advantage because most of the time you'll be able to like paralyze the enemy and have advantage over them by like giving more bunches than they would give you back. Alright, now let's talk about the new ultimate. So the new ultimate, the Chidori True Spear, we have it at level 7. By the way, if you haven't seen the summoning video or the bowling video, it was really good. It was insane. Go ahead and watch it. It's the link is in the description below. It's the first link in the description below. We did 5,400 Shinobites bowls and it was just amazing. We got like 4 copies of this ultimate. We got extra ultimates as well, but I was actually mainly hoping to max this ultimate. But yeah, it's okay. It is what it is. Like I wouldn't ask for more, to be honest, for now. So yeah, Chidori's True Spear is a regular ultimate, I would say. It's not the best ultimate in the game. It has a 60 seconds cooldown. As you can see, it doesn't matter if you level it up or not. I was hoping that it's like, yeah, like Naruto's 2K Barrage. It would like go down, like the cooldown would go down with the level up of the ultimate. But again, Bandai had other plans. They actually didn't make him as good as Naruto, and we're gonna see now why. So he fires the Chidori Spear ahead and spreads lightning, causing a large amount of damage and inflicting paralyzes. The infliction of paralyzes here is completely useless because there's 2 options for you to use it here. It's either against a Shinobi, and if you use it against a Shinobi in attack mission or like in story mission, special mission, whatever, you're always gonna kill the enemy. And yeah, there's no point in having the inflection here because again, he's a red type and red types have a lot of attacks, so it doesn't matter even if the enemy was resisting the release nature. By the way, this is a release nature ultimate. In case they were resisting the release nature, they would still die anyway because of the huge amount of attack. So even if they were resisting the release nature by 50%, half the damage of this ultimate would still kill them. So there you go. even in the Sam, like as a Sam boss, Sam bosses I think 100% are immune to paralyzes. So there's no point in using this ultimate against an attack, a Sam boss, just to paralyze them. So there's no point in this inflection being in this ultimate right here. However, the ultimate is basically a line. So the range of the ultimate is a line in front of you, and at the end of the line there's like a small explosion. The small explosion has like a small range, even smaller than Itachi's ultimate, the original Itachi's ultimate. So yeah, as you can see, the range for him is just so bad. It would work very well in an attack mission in every room except for the last room. So if you go in 1 versus 1, this ultimate always hits because it's very instant, it's very quick, it doesn't mess. And in case the enemy is actually hiding behind a wall, you can go through the wall. And in case the wall is like very thick and the enemy is like on the other side of the wall, they would still, like, the explosion would still get that enemy from there, from far away. So this is how good it is. It's only good for that in attack mission. But if you get to the last room alone, you're gonna have a problem, because this is an ultimate that has a very small range, and it's very hard to actually get all the 4 characters at once in the last room. So there's 2 tricks right now to get all the 4 characters at once with 1 hit, which is, somebody told me that in the comment section in one of the videos. I think it was the attack mission video. So somebody told me, I think it was Eka, his name is Eka. So he told me to go around a wall. So you're gonna go beside the wall, and the enemies will follow you in that wall. So basically, all you have to do is just walk beside a wall or run beside a wall, and the enemies will all line up behind you. And as long as you have one of them targeted behind you, you just have to click on the ultimate, and Sasuke will turn around automatically and use his ultimate. It's very quick, and he's gonna take down all of the characters right behind him, unless like someone like Minato is right behind you. He's gonna be faster, and he will use his teleport before you use your ultimate. So that's probably the only way where someone would actually escape that. The other possibilities for someone to escape that is that they don't even like run behind you, like someone like Timari, who just stays still and attacks from far away. That's not gonna work with her. And someone like Gaara, for example, who would like stay in his shell and doesn't move at all, so, or even attack. So yeah, that's gonna be hard as well to actually counter. The other option here for you to actually kill all the enemies at the same time is to either use Black Chidori to knock back the enemies. Like, it has a very good range to knock back a lot of enemies, and or use the Chidori stream to paralyze the enemies, and then go back a step, like go a step back, and then use your ultimate, because the explosion at the end will probably kill them all. So yeah, these are probably the only 2 possibilities for you to kill 4 enemies at the same time, which is really hard to do. Like, it's just like, this is just on paper. When you get into the last room, it's gonna be hard, because there's like different characters that would like knock you back. You will not even be able to move around or run away from them, so you're gonna have to use the ultimate anyway, and then end up killing only 1 of the 4 characters. So there you go. His ultimate is terrible for the last room, which means that in attack mission, as a main character, he will be very bad, especially if you end up alone after all your teammates die, or like get thrown away from the last room using tornado traps. So if he's gonna end up alone in the last room, it's a terrible situation for him. So as you can see, in attack mission as a main character, he's bad. And if you ever want to do that, I would advise you to just remove the Chidori stream from his kit and use the default skill, which is, well, the dash skill. So that will help you go over traps, especially tornado traps, to not waste a lot of time. So there you go. This is one way to use him as a main attacker. And to be honest, the best places for him in attack mission right now is as a sub character. If you can give him like your best cards and get his HP to a very high level, and give him like decent defense, like the best I could give him is like 11,000 defense. It's not the best, but if you have a lot of HP, he would still like survive some hits and use his ultimate at the end of the day. By the way, if you haven't seen the attack mission showcase, you should go ahead and watch that video. The link is gonna be in the description below. I showcase him as a main character and as a sub character. He's not great as a main character, again, because of the 3 reasons I mentioned there, which is because he's a red type, doesn't have a lot of defense, he dies easily. He doesn't have a lot of options in his kit to actually go over traps. So yeah, that's a disadvantage that you can say he's not as good as Naruto, because Naruto has the Shadow Clone Jutsu that can destroy all the traps in the fortress. And then the last thing was the ultimate not being able to hit all the 4 characters in the last room. So yeah, that's why he's not a good attacker or the main attacker in attack mission. However, as a sub character, he's really good. Again, if you give him a lot of HP and decent defense, he would still get you some kills even if he gets separated from your team. He would be good as well in defense, like as a defense character. If you leave him in your fortress and go offline, he would still get you a lot of kills. And if you give him the advantage using installations and traps in his room or his part of the fortress, he will get you a lot of kills because he's very aggressive. And the fact that he has paralyzed effect in two of his jutsus help him a lot, giving himself more advantage. Even with the traps and installations, that would be even more OP. So he also has the iframe skill in his black Chidori. So in case the enemy like use their ultimate, there's still the possibility that Sasuke would actually survive that ultimate, even as a bot. So yeah, he's really good as a sub character and as a defense character. As for Sam, so next Sam number 9, most likely the release nature will be featured. Not the best nature probably, because they always give the best nature to the last shinobi released in the months, but release is gonna be featured maybe with only 40% resistance. So in case you have his ultimate at high level or just level 1, you just have to give him a lot of attack, because he's gonna get the 50% extra attack as a special shinobi. And if you have the so, by the way, if you are going to use him in attack mission, the best option to give him is the yellow vest, which give you a lot of HP and a lot of defense, and it gives you also immune. He will be also immune to confusion. So in case you use him as a sub character, he will be really good, because in case he like gets over a tornado trap and he gets thrown away, when he lands, he's gonna land on his feet. He's not gonna get into the confusion effect. But if you're gonna use him in Sam, I would say the best option for you is to use the green Kuraz, because they give you each one of them give you 8% for the release nature ultimates. So 4 of them will give you a total of 32%. That's like 1/3 of his original attack. So yeah, he's gonna be doing a lot of damage. Even though it's 1 hit, his ultimate is only 1 hit, it would still do a lot of damage. And of course, the fact that he like the animation of his ultimate is really long, quite long actually, not very long, but it's quite long. That gives him the opportunity to actually hit multiple hits, multiple enemies, multiple parts of the Sam boss. So like in case the Sam boss has like 5 parts, he will be able to like attack like 4 or maybe 3 parts of these bars. Alright, so overall, I would say Sasuke is not really worth your Shinobites here. Even though I like Sasuke that much, I bought over 5,000 Shinobites on him. And his kit is really powerful and nice. I still would say he's not really worth it. If I didn't like Sasuke as a character, I wouldn't have bought here, to be honest. So this is, even though his kit like has some potentials there, it still doesn't give him any of the first 2 tiers, like not the top tier, not the second tier. And if there's any character that deserves to be in the top tier that is also a red type, it's probably going to be Uzumaki Naruto, the original Naruto. And you can see how good it is. Like if we compare his ultimates to Naruto now, like Naruto has triple hits. He does 3 hits in his ultimates. Sasuke doesn't. And then we have the Shadow Clone Jutsu in his kit that helps him go over traps, or even like saves your whole team from traps. Sasuke doesn't have that in his kit. Then we have the damage, the overall damage. The Shadow Clone Jutsu still has the highest damage in the game right now, even more than the Shurikens. So Sasuke doesn't have that as well. So Naruto, even though I wouldn't even give Naruto the top tier in the game, I would just put him in the second tier. Sasuke doesn't even deserve to be in the second tier. Like, he barely made it to the third tier. And he's gonna get outclassed easily because you can see his kit right now. Even though it has potential, it's still not as good as any other character that is in the game right now. And again, he'll be outclassed very easily soon. We will have the anniversary in the next month, and if you're gonna save your Shinobites, you should probably save it for the anniversary. So the anniversary should be at the end of the next month. You should probably save all your Shinobites until then. So yeah, do not bowl on Sasuke, guys. Just don't. Just...